Welcome to Entre-Preneur. Breaking bread over business. Family, finance. Breaking bread over business. Chloe to get into?
It's funny that you say that. I was actually thinking about that the other day. No, not necessarily. Like I want to be able, eventually, my goal is to purchase properties and then, I want to pass them down to her. But this is what I truly want for her. I want her to be able to not have to worry about money. Like I don't want her to value money, honestly. Okay. I want her to be able to find where her passion is, and wherever her passion is, I want her to be financially able to go after whatever it is without, having to worry about bills or whatever else it is. I just want her to find her passion. Whatever makes her happy, makes her happy. It doesn't. If it's not real estate, I wouldn't even care.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
But if she did, you wouldn't be mad either.
No.
Okay.
If she did, I'm like, hey.
Yeah.
let's talk.
I'm definitely sure you can set her off.
Yeah, exactly. I got a little experience.
Is it now in real estate, right? Is it competitive? Like, there's a lot of sharks in the game. Like, do you find people clash more than they do help each other as far as realtors?
It's funny that you say that. So there's this guy named Chris Voss, and
is he local?
No. He wrote a book called Never Split the Difference, and he talks about like negotiation tactics. And I actually see it in the business world. So he has this thing called what is it called? I forget what the name of it is. It's tactical empathy. That's what it is. So he was talking about like the basis of a negotiation is just for two people to come to a mutual agreement, but everybody has like this view of a negotiation being an argument, but it's not. It's supposed to be graceful, almost like a dance. Yeah. Like we have a mutual problem, and me and you have to find out how we're going to be able to solve that problem together. If we're working against each other, it makes it even harder to solve that problem. Yeah. So what I've noticed is the top agents, right? The top agents, what they do is just that. They collaborate with the other person. Okay. We're not. If you compete, then both of us can wind up failing. But if you collaborate, then everybody can be successful. So what I've seen from the good agents is that they'll collaborate with you when it comes to getting a deal. So which makes it better for every party.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now we know the type of world we live in right nowadays, right? As far as race relations and things like that. What are those relationships like in the real estate industry? Like, what's the ratio of like black realtors do you see compared to white or Asian or Hispanic? Do you find there's race issues in the real estate industry when it comes to either just finding the right clients,
right?
Like, hey, I want a white realtor, I want a black realtor,
right.
Or even dealing with other realtors. Like, if you're the selling realtor and you're dealing with the buying realtor, do you come across those race relations?
Right. So, honestly, this is one thing I like about the business world.
Okay.
I feel like in the business world, the majority of the people only care about money. Now, when you only care about money, nothing else matters. So race, creed, gender, religion, nothing else matters. So the people that I've seen, or the experience I have in real estate is that for the most part, most people are willing to collaborate with you. Now, as far as like the population of the realtor, the realtor scene, I mean, I don't see a ton. Like I would say, there's more than I thought there were. Okay. So at first, right, I kind of had this misconception that there weren't a lot of successful black people in the world. I went into real estate and I started meeting black people who were millionaires. They own businesses. I mean, you know, like
they numbers.
What's that?
Got their numbers.
Oh yeah, that's crazy.
All right, go ahead.
Yeah, but no, they own multiple properties. One of my buddies, Mike Spencer, right? He's an investor.
Okay.
He just purchased this commercial property. It was like $1 million something dollars, some crazy number over in Northern Liberties. So what it has done was, for one, it motivated me. For two, it shifted my mindset.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like us as a people, us as like a culture, we have come so far since. I mean, I'm not old. I'm 30, but just from stuff that I've seen in my personal life and stuff that I heard about from the past, I feel like we've come a long way. I do think we still have some mountains to climb, but I don't want anyone to think that there aren't successful black people out there, because what that does, and this happened to me, it puts this barrier in your mind. You're like, there's nobody else who looks like me doing this, but there really are. Like, if you go out and look for it, you'll find it, and it's truly inspiring.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. That's good, man. Mm-hmm. So, wow. I mean, that's dope.
Yeah.
But so specifically, you have these people who you say more so about the money, right, in the business world, right? So, do you also feel like that can be a problem when someone is about just the money and the greed, right? Do you feel like there's no relationships built? Like there's rapport built, right? Business rapport, we got to do for the money, but how about on like relationship? Like, you come across like a lot of fake people? Or is it like, they're as real as they got to be just to make that dollar? Like,
right. I was talking to one of my friends, Brittany. She was talking about, they're this guy, he's like a preacher, right? And it was talking about the different type of relationships that you have with people.
Okay.
And I can't properly articulate the way he explained it, but this is what he basically said. You have 3 sets of friends. So you have your friends that are like almost like your family. They're the people you come to with your problems. You can talk to them about personal stuff. You can talk about anything. And they don't care how well you're doing in life. They don't care, you can be homeless and they're still gonna be your friend. You have a second set of people. These are the people where you're both on the same path. So you're both chasing the same goal. And the only reason you're friends is because you're chasing that goal. But that's okay. But if you were to stop chasing that goal, you wouldn't be friends with that person anymore. And then you got the third group, who is the group where if y'all two have like a common adversary or whatever, or just something in common that you dislike, you're going to be friends as well. But if that goes away, then a relationship goes away. What I've found is that I wouldn't call it a fake relationship. I would just call it a different relationship. It's different because we're both trying to, and I think wealth and greed should be separate. I think money and greed should be separated. Okay. Because someone said this. I forget who it was. I think it was Jim Rohn. But he said money just makes you more of what you are. So if you're a horrible person, money is just going to help you to be more horrible. If you're a good person,
you could be like a philanthropist.
Exactly. Like I know me for example. Like this is actually on my bucket list. Once I'm to the level I want to be at, I want to be able to go to like one of the like poorest countries. I didn't tell you about this yet, but I want to be able to go to one of the poorest countries and then be able just like to uplift people. Because I was reading one of the 50 Cent books and he was talking about something like that, and I was like, wow. But
like Akon.
Yeah, exactly. Because in certain countries, I mean, they don't even have like sewer systems and stuff. Yeah, man. But I don't think the relationships are fake. I think they're just different, and that's what people have to understand. There's a business relationship, and then there's the relationship you have with your family. There's the relationship you have with your best friends.
That makes sense. So it's more so like an affiliation, right? So it's not necessarily a friendship, but I'm affiliated with you because I relate into what you're doing or what your goal is, right? Yeah,
exactly. Like if I wouldn't call them and ask them like a personal question. Like I wouldn't, like if I had an issue or something in my personal life, I wouldn't call them about something like that. Yeah. Gotcha. But now if I had something to do with real estate, I'm calling like, hey, how should I maneuver, around this?
Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah. I mean, I think that's part of networking.
It is.
I do that a lot. Yeah. I'm the type of person where, I'll be honest with you, I make a bad friend.
I got you.
I do. I had to look at myself, it was a couple years ago. I really make a bad friend, but I'm a great networker.
Yeah, yeah.
Like, I always have somebody around me. So when you call me and say, yo, I need this, I got somebody to call. Oh, I got somebody for you. No problem. Like, I'm like that. And I've been that way for years. But I'm not good at calling somebody once a week, hey, how you doing? I have a very small circle. So I have a few people in my life who I am like that with.
Yeah.
But exactly what you explained is pretty much how a lot of my affiliations or relationships are. Which is not nothing wrong with that. Because in retrospect, they do the same with me. When they need something that is in my lane, they call. And I never take it personal. Like, it's like, that's our relationship and that's what we have.
Right.
And to me, I prefer that because there's nothing more outside of that that's expected. You know what I mean? So I don't feel obligated to have to call that person every week just to see how they're doing. When genuinely, I might not really be in my feelings or even care, to be honest with you. And I don't think that's a bad thing. I think that's important when it comes in the business industry. Networking is very important. They say your network is as big as your net worth.
Exactly.
Right? So as much as connections you have is pretty much, those connections pretty much may equate to financial gain.
Right.
Yeah, man, I think, that's pretty dope that you laid it out that way, because I can't say I've ever necessarily looked at it in that retrospect. So, yeah, that's good, man.
I think it's good, and I feel like it's so important to be able to label your, I'm just going to call them friends, but, affiliates, friends, whatever. I think it's, the person I go to the bar with is not the person I wouldn't necessarily do business with. Gotcha. And the person I do business with, I have fun with that person, going to the bar. And I feel like it's okay. What people need to do is categorize where people are, who people are in their life, and just build a relationship based off of that, whatever that mutual thing is,
Yeah. And I've seen people get caught up in that to where they end up being just fake because hey, how you doing? Like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I feel like that may actually hold people back from being entrepreneurial because they're so caught up in emotions and
people sense that too.
Exactly. Instead of just being real with yourself, this is what we're here. This is our relationship, and this is what it is. Just accept it as what it is, and let's help each other to move forward in life. And I think that's a really great lesson for everybody to learn, especially if you're going to be entrepreneurial, because that's the way to make it. One thing I've learned in the many ventures I've been into, is you can't make it by yourself.
It's impossible.
It's very impossible. Well, not very impossible. Yeah, it's impossible.
Yeah.
What am I saying? But yeah, you definitely can't make it by yourself. You always need either a team, an affiliation, a relationship. You need something that's going to keep you going.
Yes.
So, like me, I've learned throughout the years my flaws, right? So, in order to, let's say, do this podcast,
right?
The things I'm not good at, I'm going to need help from somebody else who's great at what I'm not good at, right?
Yep.
And that's the only way I can be successful in anything I do, right?
Right.
And I feel like that's the same for anybody. How would you apply that to your industry, right? So, or yourself personally? What would you say something you're not great at that even all the books you read, right?
Yeah.
Hey, this is just not my lane.
Yeah.
How would you work with somebody else to help compensate that aspect of what you're either lacking or just not excelling in?
Right.
And have you done that?
Yeah. Absolutely. So there's a lot of things I'm not good at. The things I am good at, I feel like are I'm good with networking with people. I'm good with closing. But recently, a few months ago, maybe, I really realized that I hate the transactional part. I'm just not good with that. I drop the ball a lot. Sometimes, I'll forget, I'll submit paperwork late, and stuff like that. So what I did was I just found somebody who had the type of personality who would like to do something like that. And I started working with her. Now she's working on that part. So my weakness is her strength, and it helped both of us build together. But yeah, I try to find every area I'm weak in, there's somebody that's strong in that area. And if I can get them to be in that position, then we're both gonna, prosper from it. Yeah, but no, there's a lot of areas. Even still to this day, I'm still, looking for areas where I can just kind of put somebody in that spot just because I'm just either naturally not good at it or just something I just don't want to do, you know?
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Okay. So how would you go about, now this person that's helping you, is she a realtor as well?
Oh, no.
Okay.
No.
All right, so how would one go about, like, okay, we're talking about realtor, right? You're a realtor, but say someone, they want to be in real estate but not be a realtor. But
Right.
maybe that person might be an assistant
Right.
to a realtor. How would that person go about becoming that assistant to you? Like, how did you find that person?
Right. Well, I don't have an assistant right now. And because I have a transaction coordinator and she takes care of like a lot of other stuff, I don't necessarily need like an assistant just yet.
Okay.
Once I start getting like extremely busy, I probably will. But there are some agents out there. I mean, if you want to, like when I first started, I was an assistant for a little while too. But you can just go find an agent, write them an email. That's what I did. I shot her an email. I was like, listen, you know, I'm gonna help you. I focus on them. I never make it about myself ever. That's one important part about networking. Never make it about yourself. But I put all of my focus onto her and how I can help her business grow.
Okay.
And she just, you know, put me on her team. Put me on.
That's good.
Yeah.
That's good. 2020.
Yeah.
One of the worst years for almost everybody.
Yeah.
And it's still affecting us now.
Yeah.
We're entering into the new year. Well,
Yep.
you know, first month, first few days, first week into 2021. How did 2020 affect you in your industry?
So, I think for a lot of people in the real estate industry, if it truly affected you, it was like a mentality thing. Now, don't get me wrong. For a couple of months, there was a governmental order put out that realtors couldn't show houses. But I mean, I think house sales dropped maybe like 2 months. But then after that, it was right back to normal. Interest rates actually got even lower. People have locked into the twos, which means, you know, there's even more buyers in the market. Houses are appreciating at rapid paces. And this is what happened to me. What happens is when you stop and you tell yourself that you're not going to be able to sell houses anymore, it could really just affect you doing anything. And that happened to me for a little bit. Like, I just stopped and I was like, darn, this is it. Maybe I have to, you know, maybe I'm going to have to, you know, start working for somebody or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
But then I stopped. I was like, you know what? I'm just going to completely focus on self-development.
Okay.
And then, you know, I got back in the game. But I think the people who it really affected were the people who just stopped altogether.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, it's a good thing you didn't stop.
I'm glad. Trust me, I was close. You know, it's nothing on the people who did because I completely understand. I mean,
Yeah.
I had my daughter this year, so you know, in April I was scared because I'm like, darn, I have to buy all this stuff now. You know, I'm not able to sell houses. You know, but I just feel like if you just truly believe you're gonna do well, you just will.
So it's a mind thing.
It is.